Hello, everybody. Welcome again to Top of the Table. I'm Brian Bentley, joined this week by Chris Ballard
Hello.
and Hank Alexander, and our guest this week from the OC, Evan Ream.
The OC.
More or
Thanks,
less.
I guess. Am I from the Orange County? I'm
I
from
don't know.
Northern California. That's like a different state, pretty much. But thank you for having me.
And also, Jake, please state your name.
Jake Catanese, resident, New England, kind of.
Not. Because Brian didn't want to know your
It
surname.
sounds like that's been given to the police a few times. Thanks for joining us, guys. This is the way the show works. There are no rules. I will ask normally 10 questions. This week it's going to be 8. Lightning round questions you can answer with one word, one syllable, 1 minute, 1 hour, whatever you think is going to work.
Not an hour.
We only have
Not
one
an hour,
listener.
Evan.
We only have one listener, so it doesn't really matter. We will go lightning round to the other panelists on the board, and at the end of those 8 questions, unless I think of 2 more as we go, I will give out a hashtag for those that are listening or watching. They can contribute their answers on the web, and we will go from there. So, let's start off with the MLS website had an article that called Oscar Pareja, Colorado's Voldemort. Before Chris puffs out his transparent chest, what MLS players deserve Harry Potter character comparisons? Hank?
Oh man, Dax McCarty has got to be a Weasley.
Damn it, that was mine.
Oh man, but that's
I'll let you out with that one. Go ahead, Jake.
Oh God, what's a player that I hate? If Brian Ching was still playing, I would absolutely say he's a Malfoy. But that's just because New England just does not like Brian Ching.
Evan.
I've got 2 answers. My first one, and they're both Toronto FC players. Kyle Becker looks like a Malfoy, and Michael Bradley is Voldemort, not because he's evil, but because he's so good at magic that he's just on the next level, is what I would say. So that's my answer.
I like that. All right, Chris.
Why did you say it like that?
'Cause it's
Brad Davis is Dobby the House Elf.
it should be right there in your wheelhouse. That's why I put him last. I'm just gonna Costanza you right there. Gonna go out on a high note. Number 2, New York won in New England for the first time since they were the Metro Stars. I have no question here, but since I got Chris, I felt it was Hank's turn. Number 3, World Cup. I will be secretly rooting for blank. Evan.
Secretly rooting for blank. I will be secretly rooting for Argentina because I think it'll be awesome if Argentina wins the World Cup in Brazil. Their enemy, the 2 big South American rivals. I've been reading up a ton about it. I just think it would be awesome, and I think it's going to happen. I think that I don't think Brazil can win a World Cup at home after what happened in 1950. So I will be secretly rooting for Argentina.
Jake, since you're drinking water.
If I had a team I want to watch just more of, it would be Chile. I think if you're going to root for a South American dark horse, Uruguay and Ecuador, I think maybe I wouldn't put Ecuador in the group, but the big 3 powers, we know what they can do. I'd like to see one of the other, more non-traditional South American teams do well in the tournament on their own continent.
Chris.
Well, anything I say maintains its secrecy, doesn't it? Because we only have one listener. Bosnia and Herzegovina. Don't forget them as well.
From the English man wearing the U.S. soccer jersey.
I know.
Hank.
I'm going to be secretly rooting for Nick Diskerud to pull a hamstring so that Landon Donovan gets called back into the team.
Ooh.
Oh, give it up.
Wait, who?
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 Who? What? I'm going to be secretly rooting for the Ivory Coast.
That's not a secret.
They were here in Dallas over the week, the last 3 weeks training, and I got to go to the game Wednesday night and attend practice, and just
Who did they play? Did they win?
they played El Salvador. They won 2-1.
Oh.
Was that like only a goal worse than Spain then?
Yeah, but I got to attend their training on Monday, and then got to interview Kolo Torre after the game on Wednesday. So
So they're on like a US
Whoa.
tour.
Wait,
No.
they kept you from Yaya? They kept you from Yaya?
Yaya did not play,
Interesting.
and I could have gotten Drogba, but he was in the hallway, and I chose not to do it. But
It's kind of intimidating, isn't it?
no, actually, it was very very nice. I just didn't think it was at the time, since I was officially waiting for a player to be brought out. I didn't want to.
Oh, yeah.
But no, the Ivory Coast trained here for 3 weeks, so it was pretty cool. Question number 4. What was your favorite quote from the Wall Street Journal article, Hank?
The Wall Street Journal article where Jonathan Clegg chastised American soccer fans for coming up with stupid nicknames like Deuce, saying that this is football, it's not Top Gun.
That's quite good.
So are you giving me 2 quotes while you think up of your favorite quote?
Now, that was the quote.
Okay. Chris?
I didn't read it, so I don't know why you're asking me.
I didn't either. Evan?
I don't know what you're referring to, but if you want to go ahead and make fun of American soccer fans for being unoriginal, I mean that's just not even a.
It's kind of a low-hanging fruit.
Yeah. I mean, but everyone's if you like they said, I was on the bus with the American Outlaws to San Francisco to watch USA versus Azerbaijan, and they said if you're stealing from somebody, you're stealing twice. So, that's all I have to say.
Jake?
I will vehemently defend the American non-usage of an outside defender. It is not a fullback. A fullback plays American football and is a large blocker. An outside back, such as Steve Cherundolo, is almost a pseudo box-to-box midfielder who is good at his job. See Johnson, Fabian.
That wasn't in the
Real
article.
answer.
That was He talks about you should call it a fullback. It's not a fullback. Fullback plays a different sport in this country.
That's right.
It's called a right back or a left back.
That was me in high school.
Left back,
I was
right?
left out.
Yeah.
Left back.
In the locker room. Ha
Wah, wah. Hey, speaking of locked up in rooms, how's it going at your house, Chris?
You see, I got through what? 10 minutes maybe? Come on, give it a rest. You're gonna get me in trouble with the police again.
I know.
Get the gimp out.
What?
Better
Yeah.
wake him up.
Again?
Right.
Yeah. This is kind of a running joke. I say joke. It's like a joke in the weakest sense of the word.
Yeah, it's his running joke is, tell me if this rag smells like chloroform. Question number 5. Jurgen Klinsmann said the U.S. won't win the World Cup. Compare that to other obvious statements like Eric Ronaldo is bad at blank. Jake.
Eric Ronaldo is bad at coaching the Atlanta Silverbacks via Skype.
Evan.
My answer is so politically incorrect, and it involves John Harkes. That's it.
Well played. Hank. Chris.
Does it have to be an Eric Ronaldo joke or anything else?
No.
All right.
It can be whatever you want.
Okay, then.
Well, it's an obvious statement.
Landon Donovan's not going to win the World Cup.
Well, that's not very fair.
Oh, that's.
What was the question?
Wait, I'm still confused on who that is.
No, everybody did fine.
And
Question.
silence actually helps.
Question number 6.
I was told there'd be no math.
The most surprising U.S. game of the World Cup will be versus blank. Hank.
Honduras versus whoever they beat.
Would you like me to read the question again?
Yes, please.
The most surprising U.S. men's game.
U.S. Okay, yes. It would be against Honduras. That would be the most surprising. That Honduras gets to face
then I
USA.
misunderstood your answer. That's on me, Hank. I apologize.
I sorry. Yeah.
Jake.
This is after the U.S. qualifies out of the group and Honduras does too. And yeah,
And then they meet in the final. Yeah, we got it.
Right.
Okay, Jake.
It'll be against Portugal because the USA will win.
Oh.
Again.
Hot sports talk. Evan.
It's obviously going to be against South Korea because nobody's going to see those two teams meeting up in the round of 16.
Ooh.
Chris.
Germany, because USA will win to knock Germany out.
What?
It could happen. And if I say it, I'm a genius in 2 weeks' time. So, and no one's going to know before then because no fucker watches this show. So if it happens, we can say, look at this. Chris predicted 2 weeks ago. He's a genius. We must pay him some money.
But he'll be standing at the top of the stairs yelling down at the 6 people bound and gagged, look what I did. Question number 7. The surprise U.S. men's national team cap for 2018 will be blank. Evan?
Oh, wow. Just not ready for this one. The surprise cap.
Why
2018?
is there a surprise in there?
I'm just repeating the question to stall for
Yes.
time, obviously.
It's not like a spelling bee. I'm not going to give you the origin of the question. Or
What part of speech is it?
Use it in a sentence. It's absurd. That's what part of speech it is. It's complete buffoonery.
You know what? The surprise 2018 call will be Landon Donovan. Would that not be a surprise?
Chris.
Robbie Rogers.
It's only funny because the man that said who every other time his name is being.
I have to admit I know who he is.
Chris.
Barely.
Robbie Rogers.
That would be a surprise.
Because I think he's going to end up getting converted to a left back, and I think the US team will need a left back in 4 years' time. Because DeMarco Beasley will be in palliative care somewhere, surely.
Jake.
So this is someone who I think will play in the 2018 World Cup.
it's a surprise.
Surprise.
So
Oh, me? I guess it could be me.
Because that's a given.
Why do I want to say Cody Cropper really badly?
I was going to
Ooh,
say it
good
could
one.
be any 14-year-old German-American kid kicking it around.
So you're wandering around watching 14-year-old boys play and you're giving me a hard time. Nice.
I would also
Actually,
say if Diego
if you refer,
Fagundes
I put
gets
him
U.S.
in
citizenship,
Germany. Oh,
That's a
Diego
good shout.
Fagundes gets U.S. citizenship
Yeah.
by the 2018 World Cup.
Oh, Darlington Nagby.
Yes.
I've never seen a guy move so fast with the ball at his feet anywhere. And Darlington Nagby is incredible.
check out Fabian Castillo's goal last night.
I did. It was great.
That was
He's Colombian, so
Hank.
Well, since Nagby Fagundes, I'm going to go. What's his name? Ozzy. Alonso.
Alonso.
Oh.
Okay. Like it.
Oh. Question
If
number
Cuba
8.
lets him switch.
I'll never.
Who? What? You switched?
Cuba has to let him switch, and they're not going to.
well, that's right. He just called him and say, if you don't reply, we'll take it as read.
No,
It's okay.
that's not a real thing. He's already played in an official competition for Cuba. He can't switch.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I
he
thought
played
he
in
could.
he played in the 2005 Gold Cup. It's not a real thing. Everyone.
Gold Cup isn't a real thing.
Yes, it is. It's a real thing. Guadalupe and Martinique played in it.
Who?
Yeah, exactly.
That's-
If you would have said it's still
Belize
real to
played
me,
in it.
damn it, I would have lost it. Question number 8, our final question. MLS has a month off. In other sports in their off seasons, there are shootings and arrests. What will be the MLS headline during the World Cup break? Jake?
Someone gets arrested. There's a Peter Vermees joke here somewhere, but I'm not from Philadelphia, so I can't make that joke.
What I said was, in other sports, there are shootings and arrests.
Oh.
The MLS headline be in the World Cup.
When does the U.S. Open Cup start? That's a real thing. Can we promote that and put that on TV instead of MLS?
It started 2 weeks ago, Jake.
Well, I mean, you know what I mean. The MLS teams are starting now.
Oh, yes.
Maybe the headline will be someone actually watched that on television. That would be a headline. I would read that story.
Well, that's not funny. Hank?
Say MLS holdbacks from World Cup get arrested at McDonald's playpen for
Chris.
harassing children.
MLS rookies do a car wash in the parking lot of a Walmart.
See, that's why I skipped you, Hank. Evan.
MLS
You just gotta follow Chris.
MLS takes a month off. 20 graduate college.
All right.
That's all I got. Sorry, it was.
No,
mediocre.
that's all right because
It's better than Hank's.
you supplied us with our hashtag U of PHX tonight. The U of PHX is our hashtag. UOFPHX, as we give a nod to the University of Phoenix for those MLS players that will be graduating from the MLS Players.
I didn't realise that University of Phoenix isn't actually in Phoenix until the other day. Cause it's
Well,
in
yeah,
one-
you
It's in
don't
North.
you don't realize that the Real Salt Lake Youth Academy isn't actually in Utah. So
Oh, really?
no, it's in
It's Arizona.
Well, Real Salt Lake isn't even in Salt Lake, so.
yes. Well, Sandy, Utah. It's close. It's a suburb.
If it's got a different name, it's not the same place.
Really?
That's the rule I just made up.
Is that a rule?
I was gonna say because FC Dallas is in Frisco.
Yeah, Frisco. LA's in
FC
Casa.
Frisco. FC Frisco, the team from the Bay Area.
See, at least what New England do cleverly is they just say New England.
Right.
They don't say anything to do with
It's
Boston.
like saying East Coast Revolution.
Yeah. Landmass United FC.
Speaking of which, the Philadelphia Fury, who play in Southern New Jersey, just
I'd be curious if I was-
followed the First 11 pod on Twitter.
Oh, really?
One of the happiest days of my life.
That was my episode.
Yes, thank you, Hank. It's all you.
So while we're talking about podcasts, let's start with you, Evan. Let's let both of our listeners know where they can find you.
Oh, we have two now? Wow.
2. Wow.
Well, I figured Jake and Evan will at least watch this to see how they did.
Well, I'm watching it right now on my other screen.
That's true.
Actually have dual monitors, so I'm both of the watchers. Anyway,
That's true. We do have 2 viewers logged in.
I am at Evan Ream on Twitter. DavisEnterprise.com. It's the newspaper I work for. You can find me there. First 11 at First 11 Pod. Abram and I are actually recording this week for the first time in forever, and so submit your topics to us, and that's all I got.
Give the Twitter for the show one more time.
At Evan Ream.
And at first 11.
I'll say that one more time. Can you give the Twitter for the show one more time?
At top of the table.
See, your mic is still not working. I don't know.
Well, whenever I link to it, it's going to be at Top of the Table TV. Now.
At
First 11.
At Evan Ream at First 11 Pod.
Oh, jeez. Now you're giving.
There are 2 of them.
You're just
There are
giving
2.
bastardized email addresses now.
Just
Where can they find the show?
the First 11 show. Oh,
No,
it's
the Evan Ream show.
Evan.
the Evan Ream
We've
show.
been doing this for 19 minutes. We have a podcast.
You can find
the
it at
First 11 podcast.
the First
Where
11
the
podcast
fuck can people find it?
on the All American Soccer podcast. See, I don't do the plugs on my show. Abram does them, but it's at
Don't. I will go back to that.
at the AASP, the ASP. You can follow. We're on Facebook, the All American Soccer Podcast Network. There are a couple other good podcasts there, including this one, as well as Midnight Ride Podcast, MLS Olympico, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
How many podcasts do you do?
Me, just one.
How many
I
does
think by
Hank?
throwing it back at us that he's sucking up.
What's that?
So I think by you keep throwing it back and mentioning ours that you're trying to suck up and get into our good graces.
Well, I mean,
Evan,
I was the latest one here, and I was the one who thought you guys all weren't doing it, so
I know,
it's
but
probably
you
deserving.
need to know this show has a host to listener ratio that is greater.
So that's now because
Yeah,
Hank's
so
just missed
basically the
me.
way it works is, and Hank just left. That's the way it works. If you host the show, you get your own dedicated listener.
Okay.
So that's the way it works. So right
Well,
now, there's some one guy that's still trying to figure out what the fuck you were trying to say earlier,
Yeah.
and that's yours. Jake's got his own. I've got a guy. It's Nick. Chris has one.
I got 6 guys and girls in the basement, as we know. So
Yes. But we don't count them, because they're just one download on iTunes. Jake, we're going to you now.
Oh God. You can find me on Twitter at jcatanese43, Catanese. People have been screwing up my last name forever. I expect multiple failures on that. I'm a writer for thebentmusket.com on SB Nation. I cover the New England Revolution. I'm also sort of the USA international guy, so I'll be doing a lot of the World Cup stuff with the help of our intrepid crack research staff. We're going to be throwing together a lot of quick, I don't want to call them previews because I don't really preview anything, but just a lot of information you can find on Wikipedia and just on one big page.
Can you just say your Twitter handle again?
jcatanese43.
So it's not the one you've got in your thing down there, then?
What's the one I've got in my thing?
You've got J Catanese.
Oh. Well, that was dumb.
Is that your private one?
Let me see. No, there's only one.
So if you're looking for a grinder hookup, it's J
from
Catanese.
like 1,000 years ago. There it is. Hey, look, here's
like
my
magic
proper
it
Twitter
appears.
handle.
And for
Thanks,
those of you that are listening to this on your iPhone or Android device with no video, Jake just updated his lower third, so it really has no effect.
Yep, we call that winning. Array
Yes.
technology.
So, are any other podcasts that you're on, Jake, that you would like to give to speak to your listener right now, which is probably Jeff Ballard?
No relation.
I would say I'm a frequent member of the Pickup Soccer podcast, where we yell, scream, and drink alcoholic beverages. Usually at this time, but I guess we kind of jumped over and did Top of the Table, which is just as fun, I think.
I think
And
this
you can
is a crossover edition. I think.
crossover edition. Is that what the official title is? Okay,
Yes.
I can buy that.
Hank said he's done. Hank has logged off. For those of you that are wondering, and he has sent me a text message that just says, "Oops." He's coming back and said, "No, I'm done." So
I think that probably means we should yellow card Evan Ream.
I'm gonna give Hank's quotes. You can find Hank at lemonparty.org. He's also on Grindr and whitehouse.gov. Or whitehouse.com. Sorry. It's always a good to screw that one up. You can get Hank he's at Hisco5, and he's also on Pickup Soccer, Midnight Ride, pretty much every
podcast in existence right now.
I think so. Chris, what do you got?
I don't have anything.
No.
Apart from a rash, but that's different.
Right. I think if you talk to Evan, he was mentioning some sundry items before the show that could probably help you out.
He is sitting a bit funny, so.
Not changing the hashtag.
No.
Hashtag is U of PHX, as we throw a shout out to the University of Phoenix for those MLS players that will be graduating during the break as we head into summer. We're going to take a few weeks off for the World Cup, as we will be cheering on Chile, not Chile.
Yes.
And Argentina, as Evan would like to create World War III.
Yeah, buddy.
Chris will be cheering for Bosnia and Herzegovina, as he cannot settle just for one.
And Argentina, because I bet on them last year.
I will be rooting for the Ivory Coast, and Hank will be rooting for alcohol. I did receive a tweet this week that Hank's new nickname should be El Smashador, which I think is like the El Jimador, like the level above El Jimador. So we should.
Would that replace the Podfather, or is that just his own?
It-
Get that joke.
The last fucking things he needs is his ego boosted, calling him the Podfather. El Smashador.
It's the El Jimador Gold. The silver version is called El Jimador. The gold version is called El Smashador.
El Smashador. There you go. So let's just run that right in the ground. So he'll know what he missed. That was 25 minutes and 5 F-bombs too many. I'm Brian Bentley, at Brian Bentley on Twitter. You can go topoftheTable.tv. Also on Twitter at topofthetabletv. You will be able to play along with these 8 questions. Hashtag UOFPHX. And we'd love to see your responses. We'll check in from time to time on Twitter. Evan took care of my plugs. As the text that I just got from Hank, I'm going to assume he means podcasts. And we are going to leave it at that. I'm Brian Bentley for Hank Alexander, who's probably already drunk. Jake Catanese, Evan and his collection, and Christian Ballard, and Brian Billy. Thanks again. We will see you in a few weeks.
Oh, I know.
Or a team of your choice. Bye.